Exactly. Those justices numerous arts. And you get too many times. Even thought we were. Yeah, to take the Lord. There's a lot of things. Okay. Good.
Cool air.
Welcome, everyone, to the commission meeting here in Holdridge, and, little change of weather today, isn't it? There'll be an opportunity for members of the public to speak at the end of the meeting. And, so at that time, we'll make that open. Sarah, roll call.
All right, for the record, the State Highway Commission is assembled in the conference room at Holdridge Meeting Yard in Holdridge, Nebraska. The date is Friday, October 27, 2023, and the time is 8:32 a.m. There is a copy of the open meeting back in the room. Commissioner Cobble,
Present.
Commissioner Bateman,
Present.
Commissioner McGinnis,
Here.
Commissioner Hawks,
Here.
Commissioner Hindig,
Here.
Commissioner Weaver,
Here.
Commissioner Wolbert.
Here.
Thank you, Sarah. The next order of business, is to review the approval of the September 22nd meeting minutes. Sarah, please call the question.
I have a motion to approve.
I'll move. Second.
Commissioner Cobble,
Yes.
Commissioner Fairfield,
Yes.
Commissioner McGinnis,
Yeah.
Commissioner Hawks,
Yes.
Commissioner Hindig,
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Wolbert.
Yes.
Approved.
Any introductions or announcements? We do have the Federal Highway Wayne Fedora and Dusty Finler, they're second roll, no. Are there anybody else I missed? If not, we'll go to the meeting business. Vicki Kramer.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Commissioner. Vicki Kramer, the Director of Nebraska DOT. It's good to see everyone this morning.
Right on.
Break 7 rule in my book. It's good to see everyone this morning. So it's good to see our partners from Federal Highway here. Thank you for being here. And our District 7 for hosting us. Thank you, Kurt and Drew and Carrie. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. For the agency's remarks, really our main focus the last 2 weeks and really the 4 weeks prior to that have been on safety. As many of you know, we lost earlier this year and we lost another here this month. And so having it been over a decade since we lost a teammate prior to the loss of two in a very short amount of time is requires some internal looks at safety and what we're doing as an agency, as well as what we're doing with our construction partners and our engineering partners on the safety of the roadway. So we continue to look internally, we continue to look externally for how we can provide a safer environment. I'm personally meeting with all of our employees who have been with us for less than a year to lay eyes on our newest employees and our new space to make sure that they understand how important safety is, as well as some of our leadership. I'll have the opportunity next week to talk through what are the needs that we need and how I can help as an agency director resource the districts to get whatever we can possibly get in line to make sure that we never go through this again. So the loss of Mark and the loss of David has been very difficult for us and we continue to work through it. So thank you for your support, and it's just another 2 months. In terms of safety, we kicked off Buckle Up, Home Down Day Wednesday. And so we take a hard look at safety in terms of education over the month of November. So we're partnership there. We're excited, we've got some initiatives within our education community, within schools, to highlight the Up From Down campaigns, so look for those. And we did have the opportunity to highlight just a little bit of ACC along with some other agency initiatives this past week, including the alternative delivery workshop and some of the other pieces that we have moving forward on the innovation front. So that concludes my remarks. Any questions from the commission?
Thank you, Vicki. Safety kind of hits home in our district. We had 2 fatalities here last week and a half, just had it this week from the meeting yesterday. So, it is something that's always been on my mind as to how to proceed to make things better. It seems like we do a lot to really make things better, but a lot of it is drivers not paying attention like they should, where a lot of this happens. I don't know where the answer is for that, but when it hits home, it hurts. Anyway, moving on, Greg is the District 7 Commissioner. Greg, do you have some words of wisdom for us?
I don't know if there's much wisdom, but just, this is the District 7 show today. We're gonna have a presentation from our district engineer, Kurt Gosberg, on what he has planned for all the state highways in his district. But more than that, this is a chance for the public to come forward with what they think the needs are in District 7. That's the purpose of these outstate meetings. And you don't come to the meetings and state your opinion, it doesn't happen. This is a chance to get it in front of the district staff or the DOT staff and have projects brought before them that they don't necessarily see. So this is the opportunity, and hopefully we've got something that's presented here at the second part of the meeting after we get done with Kurt's presentation. So.
Thank you, Greg. Really looking forward to Kurt's presentation. He always seems to bring a lot of information to us and what's going on in our state. So Kurt, we'll turn it over to you.
Jim, you've set the bar high. I just want to take a moment to introduce the staff that I have here. Drew Wilson. Drew, would you stand up? Drew is our district construction engineer in the McCook office. Carrie Scott. Carrie is our district operations and maintenance manager. Carrie took over about 10 months ago for Kelly Doyle, who retired. And also with us today is Maggie Repass, my administrative assistant, who is here to help us with tech support. All the technology in this room is brand new as of Monday, so fingers crossed. Just some quick demographics about is this my presentation or are you?
It's the delay, push backward.
Okay. Got a little bit of a delay. I can assure you, we tested all this last night and again this morning. All right, we're back. Just some quick demographics real quick about District 7. District 7 is the 13 counties in southwest and south central Nebraska. Our west border is the Colorado line. The Adams County line is the east border. A large geographic area with relatively small population, really diverse average daily traffic. Our traffic varies from 95 vehicles a day on Highway 18 near the Frontier-Grosvenor County line to a maximum of a little over 14,000 on US 6 and 34 in McCook. 3 topics I'm going to cover today. First off, we'll talk about our accomplishments this past year, both construction program and what we do with our maintenance folks. Second topic, we're going to go over our fiscal year 24 highway program. And then lastly, I want to give an update on the McCook to North Platte Super 2, because I know we have some folks here that have an interest in that. So 2023 accomplishments. And we're just going to go from west to east across the district, covering the projects we built. This first one in Chase County, we resurfaced 3.7 miles of Highway 61 on our Ender South project. This was a pavement that had become a rough ride, 31-year-old pavement, moderate cracking, lots of patching, and a high maintenance cost. We also, while we were there, did repairs to the spillway bridge and placed an epoxy polymer overlay to preserve that bridge. We're going to look at that in this next slide. Come on. The photo on the left is the spillway bridge. For those that aren't familiar with Highway 61 in this area, we're actually on top of the dam via an agreement in 1948 with the Bureau of Reclamation when the highway was relocated. So this is the spillway bridge on the dam. We did the epoxy polymer overlay. This is one of a couple different preservation strategies we use on bridges to make sure we get the most life we can. This thing is a two-layer system where we put down an epoxy and then an aggregate, and then do the same thing in a second application. The epoxy seals up the bridge deck, and then that really hard angular aggregate provides a high friction wearing surface. Picture on the right is the finished project just downstream of the dam. Moving on east to our next project, US 6, Palisade to Highway 25. This resurfaced 6.4 miles. We also widened this out to 28 feet. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. And did repair and preservation strategies on the 2 bridges here. There also was some minor modification of the Highway 25 junction. This junction had existing right turn lanes, but they were substandard in both width and length. So while we were here at this project, we brought those up to our current standards. This pavement here had become a bit of a rough ride. You can see on the left side some of the patching that had to be done. And then the picture on the right shows you the finished product. And this shows the 28-foot top. So in Nebraska, our standard roadway width is 24 feet. There's 2 12-foot through lanes. Like much of rural Nebraska, we have a lot of wide ag equipment. So it's a challenge to keep our shoulders up, and that's a big safety concern. So on many of our roads, especially those 1,000 ADT and up, we'll do this 28-foot top. And what happens here is we do a trench widening along the edge of the pavement, basically surfacing 2 foot of the shoulder. So you have your existing 24-foot top, add 2 foot on either side, and that's the 28-foot top that you sometimes hear us refer to. Moving on east to Furnace County, our Cambridge South project resurfaced 4.7 miles of Highway 47. We also extended the culverts out to meet our current standards and had some minor grading as well. By extending these culverts and doing the grading, we were able to eliminate all the guardrail except at the Republican River Bridge. On that bridge, we did the preservation strategy like we always try to do when we're doing a 3R project, and then also did a railroad crossing surfacing replacement in Cambridge. This particular segment has a fairly high truck volume due to the fact that there's an ethanol plant located right in Cambridge. And here you can see the Republican River Bridge I was talking about, the before and after. Very antiquated angle iron railing, the twist guardrail that is not used anymore. And it's been updated to a modern guardrail, a new concrete rail on the bridge deck, And then, like I said, preservation strategy of the, to protect the deck. We looked at the epoxy polymer overlay we did on Enders. This is a more common one you see in Nebraska, where we put down a waterproof membrane over the top of the deck and then just carry the asphalt overlay over the top of it. On this particular bridge, this is a very old bridge, but we're trying to get as many years as we can out of it. The bridges we're building today, there's no reason we shouldn't get 100 years out of a bridge. Moving on east to Furnace, Harlan, and Phelps County. US 6 and 34, our N46 to Atlanta project. This resurfaced 9.9 miles of it. Once again, we repaired and did preservation strategy on the Spring Creek Bridge. And that's actually shown in the photo on the right, the Spring Creek Bridge, where we did the preservation strategy. And then on the left is a finished product of the overlay. And then immediately adjacent to that, coming on east to just right outside our building out here, we extended it another 6.6 miles with the Atlanta to Holdrege project, resurfaced it. And then we also did a 3-lane conversion in Atlanta. We'll take a look at that in this next slide. So there's the existing pavement in Atlanta before the overlay. Obviously at the end of its life, a lot of patching, rough due to the wide transverse thermal cracks. The right shows where we did the 3-lane conversion. So here we had plenty of width already, but it was always just a 2-lane operation. Here we've added a common 2-way left turn lane. And what this does is it gets slowed and stopped traffic that's going to make a left turn out of the through lane. This was an easy decision to make here where we already had the width. Basically, it was a matter of changing the stripe. Dropping down to 136 in Harlan County, our Inland Leads and East project. This resurfaced 5.2 miles. Once again, we take the opportunity to do repairs and preservation strategies. There's 2 bridges on this project. This goes from Orleans over to the 183 junction. There's a couple of photos here showing the existing pavement before on the left, and then on the right, the finished product. This is looking west, just east of the Highway 89 junction in Orleans. Going on east a little further to Highway 10, our Minden North project. This project started right in the south part of Minden, extended north 11.6 miles to just across the Platte River. This involved in town, we reconstructed the Highway 74 junction to increase the radii. This really was a tight corner for trucks to make. Since we're in town and houses were close by, we weren't able to get what you would see for the radii in a rural highway junction, but we were able to dramatically improve it. And you'll see it in the next slide when we look at the photo. Also built a new traffic signal at this intersection. And then in town, we did pavement repair and then diamond ground the existing concrete pavement. That pavement, by the way, is 65 years old. It's the oldest concrete pavement in my district that hasn't been covered up. Still performing well, and we've smoothed it up significantly. In the rural area, we had 3 culverts, metal culverts that were failing, so we took the opportunity of this project to get those replaced. And then once again, we wanted to do preservation strategies on the Platte River Bridge. This bridge, we did the epoxy polymer overlay just like we did at Enders. And there you can see the finished product in town at the Highway 74 junction. This is Highway 10 running north and south. Highway 74 goes off to the east. You can see the new traffic signal that was built. For those of you that haven't been in Minden, this is an example of some of the beautiful historic homes that are along this segment. And then the right photo shows the finished product of the epoxy polymer overlay at our Platte River structure there. Moving back to 136, the last project in fiscal year 23, our Napanee to Bloomington project, which is just wrapping up now, should be finished in the next couple of weeks, would you say, Drew?
Yep.
This resurfaced 5.8 miles. This is another one that we widened out to a 28-foot top. This one had fairly significant grading, and I believe all of the culverts were extended. Had 2 bridges here that we did repair and preservation strategies on. And the photos load here. There we go. This segment had really steep slopes in many areas, yet there was no guardrail except at the two bridges. And then we also flattened out the back slopes. We try to always do this when we have the opportunity to do some grading, particularly on the north and west side. In Nebraska, of course, our prevailing winds are out of the north and west. This helps with drifting snow, help eliminate that problem. But this also served as a source of dirt for the places where we were able to flatten out the foreslopes. Also regraded the ditches. And then, like I said, we widened the pavement out to 28 feet. This segment has a lot of rolling terrain, and what often happens there when you have these long grades that are a little steeper, we get erosion along the edge of the roadway. So to mitigate that, there's a lot of this project where we build an erosion control shoulder. This is basically a 7-foot shoulder with a 3-inch high curb at the outside, allows the water to run along that curb until it gets to a flume and be safely dispersed into the ditch rather than causing an erosion problem. Next, I'd like to turn our attention in fiscal 23 to system preservation. This is work that Kerry's folks accomplished. And this is basically applying the right repair to the right road at the right time. This is an excellent investment. And of course, our goal here is to do preventative maintenance rather than reactive maintenance whenever we possibly can. This isn't as exciting as a new bridge or a new roadway or even a resurfaced roadway, but it is nonetheless very important. Nebraskans have really made a substantial investment in their highway system, and we want to make sure we take care of that. This shows some examples of some of the things that Kerry's folks are out daily doing. Picture on the right, pothole patching with hot mix asphalt. Picture on the left, excuse me. On the right, crack sealing. In this particular scenario, we're using a mastic product because we have wider, deeper cracks. This not only seals up the crack, but we're also smoothing it out. And then the bottom right, this is really our bread and butter for Kerry's staff, chip seals. This is an application of emulsified asphalt to seal up the roadway surface, the small and microscopic cracks. And then immediately after applying that emulsified asphalt, chips are put down. In our district, we use a shale chip, provides a new wearing surface. It's really a challenge for department staff, especially district engineers, to avoid the worst first mentality when funding is short. You want to go take care of all your reactive maintenance, but you got to keep your focus on system preservation too, so we can stay ahead of things. So here's the numbers that Kerry's folks did last year. We sealed 70 centerline miles of roadway, did 36 miles of chip seals, 226 square yards of cold milling, laid over 14,000 tons of hot mix. And then we talked earlier about the importance of shoulder drop-offs. Kerry's folks rebuilt the shoulders on 106 lane miles of roadway. All right, turning our attention to the second topic for today, our fiscal year 24 highway program. When you came in, you might have picked up this book here, our program book, and we're going to be looking at pages 35 and 36. So this slide here shows the map that you'll find on page 35. Those segments that are highlighted in red, that's our fiscal year 24 construction program. Those that are highlighted in blue, that's our planning program for fiscal year 25 through 29. I might point out, this is something that I don't believe has ever happened in my 18 years. Twice in fiscal year 23, we had to meet to reduce our highway program. Inflation has just been running rampant, especially in the construction industry. Overall, NDOT's total program in fiscal year 23 saw a 22% increase due to inflation. In District 7, it was even worse at 31.2%. So we had to make some adjustments, but we still have these 6 projects that we're going to go through here. And I'm just going to go through these in numerical order. So the first one we'll talk about, number 1 on there, we're going to resurface 10.9 miles of Highway 4 from the Highway 44 junction south of Wilcox over to Highway 10. This is another one that we also battle shoulder drop-offs all the time, so we'll trench widen it out to 28 feet over there. This was just recently led in our September letting and awarded to Bonds Paving out of Hastings. I would expect this project to start in the spring and will be finished up by fall. This will be done under traffic with flagging in a pilot vehicle like you normally see us do with our resurfacing projects. Moving to our number 2 project on here, this is to replace 2 bridges on Highway 18. Both of them span the Medicine Creek. The first one immediately south of Curtis, we're going to replace a 1945 bridge with a new wider structure. The newer structure will be 38 feet wide by 220 foot long. And then just down the road, just east of Stockville, we have a 1935 bridge that will replace with a new 38 foot by 290 foot long bridge. Sarah, I gotta say, this delay is annoying. All right, number 3 project. This is on Highway 23, Loomis to Holdridge. And if you looked out that window, you could actually see the end of this project. We'll resurface 7 miles between Loomis and Holdridge, obviously. This is in our, currently advertised in our November 16th letting. And will be, once again, I'd expect it to start in the spring and be finished up by fall. It'll be done under traffic as well. Moving to our number 4 project, this is on Highway 25 from the Kansas line up to Swanson Reservoir just south of Trenton. This will resurface 10.3 miles and also do bridge repairs, preservation strategy there on the Driftwood Creek Bridge. This will be done under traffic, but a little bit different scenario here down at the Driftwood Creek. While we're doing the work there, we'll utilize a temporary traffic signal to maintain 2-way, 1-lane traffic. Moving back over to Highway 44, our number 5 project. This will resurface 5.5 miles from the junction with Highway 4 up through Wilcox. We'll also extend 2 culverts that are actually right in Wilcox to get those out to the length required by our current standards. And then south of Wilcox, we have a place where we've had overtopping and heavy rains. We've had our hydraulic folks look at that, and we're going to add a culvert underneath a county road that should eliminate that in all but the heaviest rains. This is another one that was led in our September letting and awarded to Bonds Paving out of Hastings. Once again, I'd expect work to begin in the spring and be finished up by fall, be done under traffic. And then continuing on north, immediately adjacent to this, we'll go the next 7 miles. Up to Highway 6 and 34 with our Wilcox, the West Junction US 6 and 34. This is also a resurfacing project, but this pavement's got a little greater needs than the other segment to the south. So before we do the resurfacing, we'll take the existing pavement and do a recycling strategy right in place where we'll add cement, build a really nice base before we do the asphalt overlay. This particular project was also in our September letting and awarded to Bonds Paving. I want to talk about that while we have these 3 projects where they're actually touch each other. What we try to do when we have scenarios like this, or even projects that are within 15, 20 miles of each other, we'll leave those as individual projects, but we'll tie those together. And what that does is the contractor is required to bid on all of the projects, and then we award it based on the overall combined low cost, low bid. And that does a few things for us. First of all, we save on the mobilization. Costs a lot of money to get an asphalt plant moved in. Right now, I just looked at the numbers for fiscal year 23. We paid just under $250,000 for mobilization on asphalt projects. So let me step back here. When we let projects to contract, there isn't a lump sum that they bid on. There's individual contract unit prices. So we know what they're actually bidding for things like mobilization. So $250,000 to get the equipment and the plant people in to do these projects. I'm not naive. I know we're not going to save $500,000 here, but I'll guarantee you we save darn close to that by tying these together. The other thing this does, it reduces my staffing needs. When we do these projects, we have members of Drew's staff. We assign a project manager and inspectors. We know now by tying these projects together, the contractor is going to prosecute the work consecutively. He'll have 1 asphalt crew down there. Drew now only needs 1 project manager and a couple inspectors. So there's some savings there. Third thing this does for us, this is huge for Cary. We do hot mix asphalt paving whenever we can in our district. There are no permanent asphalt plants left in District 7, hasn't been for most of my career. So our source of asphalt is these portable plants that come in for these projects. By tying these together, we know this plant's gonna sit, it's actually gonna sit right here at the junction. It's a plant site they've used in the past. That opens up a larger window for Cary to get asphalt. We're hauling asphalt to many different locations. We have a lot smaller equipment than the contractors do, so we don't move at the pace they do. This will give him a much larger window to get that done. Last point, and this is important for our industry, every time you move an asphalt plant, it's out of commission for 1.5 to 2 weeks. While it's tore down, moved to the next location, set back up, calibrated. So by tying these projects together, that makes that plant run another 1.5 to 2 weeks for each individual project that's tied. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the McCook to North Platte Super 2, because like I said, I know there are folks here, our friends from McCook are here, and I know they're interested in this. First, let's talk about what a Super 2 is, for those that don't know. This is actually, we did not have a Super 2 standard in Nebraska. We developed that here several years ago. And the very first one will be between the corridor between McCook and North Platte, length just under 60 miles. And what we do there is construct passing lanes at regular intervals to provide a safe passing opportunity. Much of this roadway has a rolling terrain. Once again, we have a lot of wide ag equipment that moves slow. This provides an opportunity for folks to pass them at a regular interval. So let's take a look at the individual projects. While this is a 60-mile long corridor, we've broken it up into 6 individual projects to build the ultimate 16 passing lanes on this segment. The first one here, Wellfleet North and South, constructed 4 of those passing lanes. We did that in 20 and 21. That's complete in operation. And then we have 2 more projects going to be let here in the very near future. The first one, our friends at District 6 in North Platte are going to let probably in our December letting. Goes from the north junction of Highway 23 up to Lake Maloney. That'll construct 4 more passing lanes. And then in June, we intend to let the Wellfleet South project takes off where Fraser Creek ended up and continues on to up north to Wellfleet. This will add 2 more of those passing lanes. We've had a little bit of a delay here. Much of this in Frontier and Lincoln County is in the range of the threatened species, the American burying beetle. And we had a mitigation strategy that was approved by U.S. Fish and Wildlife and Nebraska Game and Parks. During the period of time we were planning this project, that species went from endangered, was downlisted to threatened. We were excited about that, thinking mitigation got easier. Basically, the resource agencies, that gives them an opportunity to reevaluate what we're doing for mitigation. So we had a little bit of a pause. We're through that. I met with Wayne and Rusty yesterday. We talked about that. We're through the hoops now and well on our way to getting back to work on this segment. The other segments here, this entire corridor, we're building the passing lanes when the pavement needs warrant a 3R project, and then we're just adding the passing lanes. So these remaining pieces will be built between now and 2032. These 2 in my district are programmed or will be here shortly, and I think Gary in District 6 has this last segment programmed somewhere in that time frame as well. And that does it for my presentation. Commissioners, any questions I might be able to answer for you?
Is the American beetle, is this, because it affects the projects in my district, is this behind us now, or is it by individual project now?
We have an approved, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Khalil, programmatic agreement now where is it approved?
Not quite yet.
Not quite. We're very close on how we're going to mitigate for this. And this will allow us to get moving again. Jerome, you have many projects. The bulk of District 8 is in the range of the American burying beetle.
When you estimate a project cost, and you have these surprises, what does that do to that project cost as far as the mitigation involved, the delay of the project, the inflation? Is there a study done on that, what this is costing us?
Well, I can't speak to what the delays in general are doing, but we know from what I said here, in 2023, overall across the department, our costs went up 22%,
From inflation.
just from inflation alone.
So, but that doesn't include any of the mitigation costs or the delay.
It does not include the mitigation costs, and I'll let Mr. Jabber speak.
May I, sir? Well, what I was gonna say is really what cost us, Commissioner, we delayed almost $85 million worth of projects because of that, basically that downlisted that species. Because we had to reevaluate all those projects. Now, as of September 11, the overall percentage, right now with inflation is about 3%. Now it's different for capital improvement at this time, it's almost 13%, but for the overall program it's 3%. So you can see that cost us some money if you apply the 3% on the 85 million. The cost itself for the mitigation that we're dealing with, and you probably are very familiar with some of it is private. Wildwood is an area where we're a developer that's trying to get that conservation easement to Cherry County. So not quite done, but it's gonna cost us nearly $2 million to buy credits for these, what we call incidental take. So that's the cost of doing business, but we are actively working through that. And it doesn't come free to us, it costs. But it's all those projects are federal aid eligible and we're utilizing the 80-20% funds to do that. We have not done a study, independent study to say how much did that actually cost us, because it's the range and it depends on the projects. You really can't just say it's all American River because we have also the Northern Ear Longbat. We have all kind of different things that are coming down the pipe. So it's not just one species. It's a delay, and sometimes it just comes with the doing business.
One more question. I see a negative behind these projects, parentheses, cost of the project. Is that, okay, this was projected to be done in 2021, but we were delayed. And so I can explain it to somebody, what does that negative parenthesis mean behind these projects that are not completed or not finished or done?
So when we publish the program, all those projects you're seeing that has that parenthesis or the negative is a carryover. They were funded or committed from the prior year. We were not able to get them through for whatever reason due to project delivery, activities. And consequently, we carry them over to the next year. They're not charged to the districts. They're already been charged from the prior fiscal year. So we just basically show them for the public because they were not let. So we wanted to make sure people see that they're still out there.
So are those funds actually reserved in a spot or are they used and, okay, we owe that district that?
So they're reserved in a sense that we monitor that in our cash flow so that they are spoken for, if you will. They're not necessarily going to lose this place. When those projects are ready to be let, they're already captured in the cash flow and then will be committed.
Thank you.
Commissioners, other questions I might be able to answer for you?
Keep us informed how this superhighway proceeds. I think it's interesting. I think we need to be kept aware of the benefits, how it's worked and so forth. I appreciate that.
I will do that.
Kurt, thank you. That was a great presentation. It opens up the eyes. What goes on back doors before anything gets done. One of the things that I've always thought about, right in my hometown basically, is we have two companies that do road work lots and runners. I think there's also two right here in our doorstep, so to me, that's gotta be a great asset for us in getting a lot of those projects done at a price that, probably would be a lot higher priced, if we had to accommodate somebody else. So I think that's great, that can continue to keep them busy. And bonds probably, what, in the last 5-6 years, came back into existence, and they really, and done a lot of void for us. So it really helped out in that regard, and I'm not trying to advertise for them, I'm just saying, it's great to be able to accommodate people in our vicinity to keep them busy and so forth. Makes the economy a whole lot better than we're all. So anyway, thank you, Kurt, and I guess now it's time for the public input. Sarah, are there any letters for the record?
Yeah, we got one, and it's very long, so I'm gonna summarize it. You all received a copy and put it in the website after. Very curious to read the thing. This is from Tom Nelson in Columbus, Nebraska, regarding the US 81 Expressway project for Columbus. He read an article in Polk County newspaper regarding the recommendations for US 81 following the January Highway Commission meeting. In that the recommendation was to go through the communities in Strongford, Osceola, and Shelby rather than bypassing them. He has safety concerns regarding that. He does travel the road regularly throughout the year. He's not actually living in one of those communities. Like I said, he is from Columbus. And so he is more or less challenging the department to look at the cost, the feasibility, and the safety factors of going through communities rather than bypassing them. So, like I said, it's a very, very long letter. I'll send you all a copy, but it encompasses what the concerns were of his. So I'll get that. That is in my to speak thus far.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. That's one of my concerns too. Really read that letter. Now, if there's anybody here that would like to come to the podium, we would ask that you spell your first and last name for the record before speaking. Now's the time.
Maggie, would you take one of the microphones around?
Thank you, and thanks for coming out to Boulder today. I appreciate everybody's attendance. That's great to see everybody coming to the central and southwestern side of the state for these meetings. My name is Nate Schneider. I'm the city manager for the city of McCook. And I have with me today my public works director, Kyle Potoff. And first, I'd like to thank the commission in the state of Nebraska for the resources and efforts that's been extended to our portion of the state over the past few years. From Mr. Vosberg's presentation, it's clear that we have been prioritizing. We really do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Particularly, I'd like to thank you for the prioritization of the Highway 634 project between Holdridge and then beyond Highway 4, west of Highway 4. As an aside, my wife had surgery in Kearney in February of 2022, and we chose to travel through Holdridge on our way back to McCook. And I heard it from her a few times as we were making our way back, as we were jarring our way through 6 and 34. So I wish I could have delayed that surgery about a year because my ears are still ringing from that. But it's fantastic what's been done. Definitely is appreciated. Kind of extending on what Mr. Vosberg had discussed as well too. We were extremely appreciative of the efforts along Highway 83 The Super 2 project is definitely a benefit to our region of the state. We've seen the progress that's been made specifically with respect to the McCook corridor. And we understand there's going to be some additional efforts north towards North Platte. So we're excited to see how that progresses over the next few years. It's definitely made travel much safer. I can tell you from my experience, I feel much more comfortable driving that stretch of road. And I've heard that from a number of people as well too. And also, I can't say how appreciative we are as far as the economic opportunities that's presented for our region. I'd like to advocate for continued expansion of the Highway 83 Super 2 project. Specifically, we've discussed this before, but as we progress, kind of focusing on that part of Highway 83 south of McCook that will extend to the state line. My understanding is KDOT met this past year, and the Highway 83 project has been prioritized from the I-70 interchange to the northern portion of Highway 83 just through Overland, Kansas. A Super 2 project that would connect I-70 and I-80 would be a huge benefit to our region. It would definitely create safer passage. I don't know how many people have traveled south of the state line, but it truly is what I would consider probably a dangerous stretch of road between Overland and I-70. There's a lot of undulations and some difficulty, I think, with trying to pass. But also, I think that this would be a huge opportunity for us economically. There's been a lot of resources expended in North Platte over the past few years, and also McCook. We've got a number of projects that are going on. There's definitely a concerted effort to try to broaden our ability to provide transportation opportunities commercially for entities that are looking to transport goods north and south. And this is an area where I think that we could really probably do a lot of good for our communities and the state of Nebraska as a whole. So in conjunction with my request, I want to offer some letters of support. Sarah, I'll give you those letters for dissemination. But we have entities from Overland, North Platte, and McCook that have offered letters of support. And I'd like for the commission to have an opportunity to review those letters. And then in the future, as you kind of plan for projects in the next however many years out, consider an extension of the Super 2 project from McCook down to the Kansas-Nebraska border. And again, I want to thank everybody for the consideration of my request and for the efforts that you've already made. You've done a fantastic job for our area. We're very lucky to have the people that we have serving us in District 7. And if you have any questions, we're going to take them. If not, let's go ahead and help these letters now. Thank you. So.
Thank you, Dave. Do we have anybody else that would like to come forward?
I'm Randall Smith, Kearney County Highway Superintendent, Minden, Nebraska. My name is spelled RANDALLSMITH. I had a letter came to us here, actually in an email about an upcoming project that'll come on Highway 6 through Kearney County. It'll start at junction of Highway 44 North and end just on the east edge of Minden. In that letter, there was comments about doing a right turn lane at 26 Road, which is a county road that goes south to Kappa Ethanol Plant. And then another one at County Road 28, which was the old Cargill Motel grain elevator site. That elevator has since been abandoned. And I visited with Kurt a little bit about that. That was basically a widening of the shoulder for the trucks to make that right-hand turn there. The Board of Commissioners in Kearney County, they looked over that same project schedule that was sent out. And the highway, or the Road 28 intersection there off of Highway 6, the elevator being abandoned, they didn't really see much need for work being done there. County Road 26 on Highway 6 there is a very increased traffic amount with Kappa ethanol plant being at that intersection. We actually have a lot of trucks that do not take the highway because of trying to make a left-hand turn off of that to go to the ethanol plant. They'll cut across on county roads before they take that safety risk of setting on the highway there. So basically the board was asking me to present this to the state and the Highway Commission to possibly look at, maybe spending more money on that 26 road intersection and not doing the 28 road intersection. I didn't get much of a chance to talk to Kurt before today, so I seen this was coming up, and so I thought I would come over here and present this to you guys at this time on behalf of the Kearney County Board. As the projects continue on, this is not in your 25 to 29 plan yet, but the 33 road, which is a county road crossing that basically connects Highway 74 and Highway 6 with a county road on the east edge of Mendon. When Kurt gets to that phase, we do some road work over in that area. We would like that intersection taken a look at as far as lighting and possibly turning lane there. We have businesses up there now like Landmark Implement, Aurora Co-op, Warcraft Housing. There's actually quite a little traffic comes in and out of Mendon that way. It could possibly be taking a look at doing some extra work there when that time comes. I appreciate you guys giving me an opportunity to come in here and talk to you today about this. I haven't been to one of these meetings yet. I get a notice once a year for them and I haven't made it. So it's good to come here and see all of you and what you do. I like your presentation, Kurt. We have a lot of things on our end going on, like the Highway 44 Wilcox to Highway 6 project. Deals that are going to help us and benefit Kearney County quite a bit as they go on there. I thank you for doing all the work you do for us over there in that area. Thank you. I do have another copy of this letter. It will give to you guys so you can have it on record there. So. Thank you.
Thank you, Randall.
Jim, might I provide a little update on that?
Yes.
So I'd like to visit with you a little bit after the meeting about this. I wanted to comment on the 26 intersection, Road 26. We actually did evaluate that for left turn lanes. I thought perhaps with the ethanol plant traffic, it would warrant them. It does not warrant left turn lanes, so we won't be building there, but we will upgrade the right turn lane. And your comments are well taken about Road 33. I will make sure we evaluate that intersection for both lighting and turning lanes when we program that project.
Thank you.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, Kurt. Is there anybody else that would like to express their views?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I would like to make a request of the department. In August in North Platte, we had citizens come forward about the Newberry interchange with some very legitimate requests about traffic increase there. I know this adding Highway 83 to the Super 2 south of McCook. I think this is the third meeting that it's been requested, and we've not had a response. I would like to have the department update the commission on answers to the questions brought up or requests brought up by citizens. I mean, that's the purpose of these meetings, is for the citizens to come forward. And I think we should come back and update the commission so we can go back to our constituents and tell them what the department is thinking about that. So, maybe at the December meeting or, when this happens.
Absolutely, we can do that. We do have some updates we'll provide, Will can provide on the Newbury interchange. I think some of those updates usually happen offline, so we can come formally back with the commission and make sure that all understand what progress has been made on the public comment base and move forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Vicki, are there any remarks from the commissioners? I guess the only thing I have to say is, weather's changing, so, you know, in our business, we run trucks all over. And, up in northwestern North Dakota, they had 12 inches of snow yesterday, so. And today it's pretty cold here, so we're gonna have to get used to that, but, so there'll be some challenges, with travel and so forth, so. Yeah, that's the next thing, that's what's great about Nebraska. Every month we have different things to look at and to appreciate, so. And that's why I live in Nebraska, I love the seasons change. Sarah, the public meeting calendar,
Yes. The next scheduled highway commission meeting is gonna be December 8th at 8:30 at NDOT headquarters. That's on 1500 Nebraska Parkway, so if we go, don't put highway 2 in, because you will not find it. And then there will be an announcement, of a few public meetings coming up. I believe we have one hearing that we're targeting December 4th, so I'll have all that information here shortly once we get confirmation.
well, I guess if there's nothing else, we can adjourn.
Thank you, Sarah.
So.